Hi, this is Captain Drew Cavanaugh with Florida Inshore Fishing Charters, located here on the beautiful Mosquito Lagoon, East Central Florida, New Smyrna Beach, Cocoa Beach, Oak Hill, Daytona. And today, this is my 2007 Yamaha F50 TLR 4-stroke on my Ranger Banshee Extreme, my 2007 Ranger Banshee Extreme. And today I'm going to show you how to do the basic maintenance on this engine. A long time ago, I was paying a marine mechanic $100, $110, $80 an hour to do certain things. And one day I started doing research, and I started doing things myself, bought certain tools, and I'm saving myself thousands of dollars when I do this. There's some things, yes, you're going to need a mechanic to do when you get into the inner workings of the engine, the head, the timing chain, all that. I'll pay a mechanic to do that. And by no means, don't take this video, I'm not a professional mechanic, I'm a professional fishing guide. But you know what? You do this at your own risk, and you do this. When you do this, just follow some basic steps, follow the directions, how much oil to put in, the spark plugs and all that. It's easy to do. What I'm going to do is show you some of the basic things, because in the beginning when somebody showed me this, it was so helpful. I'm going to change the oil today. I'm going to change the oil filter. I'm going to change the water fuel separator. I'm going to change the anodes, some of the anodes. I'm going to change the spark plugs. I'm going to change the water fuel separator, said that, just grease some things up, do this, do that. The lower unit gear oil I'm going to change. I'm going to change out some of the seals, the gaskets on the screws, just show you how to do certain things, some tricks that'll help you out doing this and whatnot. The only thing I'm not going to do is I'm not going to show you how to do the impeller, the water pump. I just did it recently, and first time I ever did it on my own. It was easy, and I looked for videos out there and I couldn't find any for this specific engine, so as soon as I do that, I'll definitely put that up there. I think it took me maybe an hour to do, and the next time I do it, I think it'll take me 10 minutes. That's how easy it is, and I believe you go pay a mechanic to do it the first time, it's like $300–400. It was $60 for the kit, so that's a tremendous saving. So the first thing I'm going to do is let me show you some parts here, everything that we're going to do. And I'm going to do a bunch of editing in this video, and we'll go from there, okay? Okay, the first thing we have here is we've got everything that we need, and this is again for a 2007 Yamaha 4-stroke 50 horsepower TLR F50 TLR, I believe. This is the spark plugs right here. It uses. There's some just basic grease that I use to grease up linkage and whatnot. There is the oil filter I've been using. Works just fine, and I'm a big fan of all Yamaha parts. Yamaha's treated me very well as far as their product. There's the lower unit oil. And there's the lower unit screws and the gaskets. There's the marine oil I have been using, and it's totally up to you. It's between you and your engine what oil you want to put in. I put strictly Yamaha product in there. Right there is the fuel filter. Here is the water fuel separator. The micron mini filter, whatever it's called. I bought a little thing for the oil that just attaches to the oil, a little quart, because I think I put 2.5, 2.4, 2.7 quarts in there, and that just helps it when I pour it in there. It was worth a couple bucks. I think you can see $1.95 on that thing. And then there are the anodes. This is the trim tab anode, and I replace that every maybe couple years or whatever. It's worth it. Here's the engine. So what we'll do is the first thing I'm going to do are the anodes. So the first thing we're going to do here is down here by the prop is we're going to pop this little gasket thing off, this little rubber thing off, just set it to the side. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it's a 12mm bolt in here. And then down here below, I don't know if you can see it, there's a 12mm bolt right there. So what this will do is it'll pop this anode out right here, that anode out right here, and we'll get that out, and it'll also lower this little trim tab skeg right here, and we'll get that replaced. So let me put this camera back up on a tripod, and we'll go from there. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and remove this little anode right here. And like I said, I believe it's a 12 millimeter. Yep, 12 millimeter. Yamaha's all metric, so 12 millimeter bolt right here, and it's real easy to do. This, again, this is basic here. Okay, that should be about it. Sometimes it comes up. Sometimes you got to grab a pair of needle nose pliers right there. Just kind of reach down there and grab the head of it, and there it is right there. You can see it. So we'll just pop that out. You can see it's a little dirty, which is fine. A little bit of it's doing its job. See, it's a little bit of corrosion on it, so it's doing its job. So what I'll do is I like to take this marine lube right here, this racing lube. Just, you know, open it up and set it over here. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a little bit of grease on this bolt. You know, just a little bit of dab. And what I'm going to do, we'll put that back into there. Really no rhyme or reason there. That one really doesn't have to be perfect. So just kind of grab that. Set it down into there. You know, it goes back in the hole. We'll just put this back onto here. Tighten that down. Okay. And learn that you don't have to tighten these very much, you know, just enough to hold it there. Okay, so that's, I've learned if you just grab it like that, leave a couple fingers off, that's almost like a human torque wrench. And there we go, that's been replaced. Okay, next thing we're going to do, we're going to do the skeg right here. Now one thing you want to do is, if you have your engine aligned and it was from the beginning, either take a pen and mark where this is at, so that you know. I've made a permanent marker here that you can't see. So it's pretty easy right here. And again, it's a 12 millimeter. Just get up under here and do that. See, it comes right off. And again, this is very easy to do. There's no reason to pay a mechanic to do that, because when you take it in to do your yearly maintenance, they do all this stuff. And some of this stuff you can do on your own. Especially if you live here in Florida. A little bit of grease on there again. I'll take it. A little bit more grease on there. Just take it, put it up on there. Just kind of hand tighten it there a little bit. And it's probably a good practice every 3-4 years to, you know, go ahead and buy new bolts. You know, buy new washers, a couple bucks. It's not a big deal. What I'm going to do is get up on here. I'm going to make sure it's aligned with the little mark that I had. Okay. Switch that over. Oh. Oh, wrong way. There we go. And again, just kind of hand tighten it. I mean, you don't want to over. You can get the specifications from Yamaha if you're interested, and you could look at the torque, the foot-pounds, and all that. But I do this maintenance that we're doing today: the oil, the lower unit, the plugs, the fuel filter, about 3 or 4 times a year, sometimes 5, depending on how many times I'm on the water. You know what? It's better to do it and not do it. For a couple bucks, 80, 90 bucks, and all the parts, it's well worth it. It'll last forever. I've never had any problems with this engine. I've seen other guides out there, other friends that have had just constant problems with it. And I've noticed they just don't keep up on basic maintenance. So, okay, let's do the next thing. Let's go ahead and do get this next thing to do. We'll probably do the water fuel separator, and we'll get right to that. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do here is the marine water fuel separator. And this engine, or this boat, not this engine, I think you can put any one on there. This is the one that's came with the boat. It's really easy to do. It's not rocket science, that's for sure. Another thing that you can do yourself. You'll see that it comes with a little rubber gasket on top of there. You're going to want to take just some of your marine oil that you're getting ready to use, your 20W40, put just a little teeny bit on your finger and just make a protective layer on there and put some on the threads. That'll help you when you go to put it on and off to just get it back on. It gives it a good seal. Typically this should be probably replaced once a year, I believe. Then again, everything I'm doing here, you really want to consult Yamaha and or your manufacturer and see how long. I replace this probably every 3 months, just for the fact I live in a high humidity climate, and for $10, why not? If it saves my engine thousands and thousands of dollars. So what I'm going to do right now is we're going to get the old one out of here, and I just use a pair of I think channel locks or whatever they're called here. Just go in here and I'm going to loosen this up and take the old one out. So let me do that real quick. Okay, so I was able to get the other one out. It was really easy. I just hand tighten it as hard as I can, and you don't want to tighten it with a wrench. I thought I was going to need the wrench there, the channel locks, whatever they're called. I did not, which is a good thing. Also, I want to stress, check with your local, state, federal law where you live when you do this. You know, it's got gasoline in it, the oil. Make sure you dispose of it properly. You know, I think some fire stations have disposals, you know, Discount Auto Parts, AutoZone, all that kind of stuff. So basically, you're going to take just a little bit of oil here. Not much, I mean just a little teeny drop. Let's see if I can do this. Oh, there we go. That's more than enough. Yeah, I'm just kind of, you know, enough around that film, just enough to make a. Be careful when you do this. The last time I did this, it was so sharp in there, I cut my finger. Okay. So what we'll do is we'll put that back down there. Basically, I'm just going to get in there and I'm going to hand tighten it. And I'm able to reach in there and grab both hands around it, and I'm just tightening it by hand. You know, again, the human torque. And I'll just pump the ball here. Go ahead and get some fuel in it, because in a while we're going to be starting the engine, make sure the oil's right, the pressure, everything works all right. And there's the second thing, the water fuel separator. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and replace the fuel filter on this engine. It's located right here in the back of the cowling. Again, there's going to be some gas coming out of it, so just, you know, I figure while we got gas on our hands, just go ahead and then screw that. A little bit of spray there. Okay, I can. Almost got it there. Oh, and by the way, I put down a sheet of bisqueen, and I've got some cat litter I'll throw down there. Alright, so let's just go ahead and pull that off of there. Gonna leave that right there like that. There's the old fuel filter right there. And I probably replace this, again, it's so worth its weight in gold. I replace this maybe every couple months, 3 months or whatever, or unless you've had some fuel problems. So right there. Again, this one's just easy to do. Again, $100 an hour, marine mechanic, I don't think so. So basically we'll just put this right back in there. It just pops right up into there like that. And we're going to screw this right back onto here. You know, you can take the channel locks, or I forget what those pliers are called, I really do. I'm a fishing guy, not a mechanic, like I said. And what you can do is you can get those, or little ones, and just hand tighten that on there, not too tight. And so there's the fuel filter, now done. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to do the spark plugs. I already did this top one here. The key with doing your spark plugs are take a boot off, do the spark plug, take the plug out, put the new one in, put the boot back on. Don't take them all off, because just like in your car, you get them confused, it ain't gonna run right. When you're doing the plugs, typically each time I do it, I'll take a little bit of this anti-seize lubricant and put it on the threads, and it just helps you to, you know, if you wait a while, it just helps them not seize up. And then I also put on some spark plug boot bulb electrical connector protector, and you can pick this up at any kind of automotive store. We've all been to the stores where they're at the register, you know, 99 cents or whatever. So basically what you do is the way I do it, whether it's done right or not, I'm sure it is, maybe I didn't cut that off right. So I usually just take a little bit and just smear it around there. You know, like I said, this is probably I can't even tell you how many times I've done the maintenance on this engine, and to this day have I yet had a problem. Just take a little bit of the ceramic protector here and just kind of smooth that around. Okay, basically we're gonna do it that way. So what we're gonna do, you're gonna take your spark plug, and the key again, I'm gonna stress this, is use the human torque wrench. You know, get it in there started. And I'm not going to do all 4 of these on camera. Okay. Let's see here. Okay, so we get that right there. And the way I do it is a mechanic told me just kind of keep a couple fingers off, and that way you're not getting the death grip on it. And just, you know, that's barely hand tightened in there. Came out real easily, so just pop that off, put the boot back on there, and voila. The only time I take off more than one boot are this very bottom one. This boot on the 3rd one down actually tends to get in the way, and so I pop it off and just kind of wedge it up in there, and it's actually so short it won't even let you go down to that one. And then I just pop off that one and do that one. So let me finish up these last 2 spark plugs. Like I said, just take some of the anti-seize, put it on the threads, take some of the boot protector there, the electrical connector, and put it on the ceramic part of the spark plug. That's what I've been doing for 5, 6, 7 years now, and it works great. Okay, I'm going to show you this bottom one how to do it. I have the angle thing on there with the extension, put it on the right setting. And just, you can see how I hand tightened it on there, how loose that was. So basically just take your time, don't rush it. You shouldn't drop anything down in there. If you do, you can just reach down there and get it. This takes me about 5 minutes to do the spark plugs here. Basically I'll get that thing, let's see here, take that off. So I should probably do that by hand here. Go. The other thing I was going to show you while I'm getting this out, this one's just a little tricky. It's like cars, they put them in the weirdest spots. But I guess if you look at the engine, how much technology in there and what they pack in there space-wise, it's pretty impressive. So the key is once it's about out, just kind of pull it out and just lift it up, and there you go. So that's a piece of cake. Well, while I'm here on the camera here real quick, I was going to show you. Let's see if I can do it. I don't know. You can see it right here. This is the thermostat. I just did this too. It actually just locked up, and after a while it just freezes up. Just go get the part number, put it in. All you do is undo this bolt, this bolt. If I'm not mistaken, don't quote me on this, I believe it was a 10 millimeter. There's a gasket you get, the thermostat, you pull those out, pull the thermostat out, clean it out a little bit, put the new one in, put the gasket on it, human torque it down. Piece of cake. You do not need to take that to a mechanic to do that. Alright, so let me get this last spark plug in, and then we'll move on to the oil and the oil filter, and we'll go from there. Okay, so the next thing we are going to do is we're going to drain the oil and replace the oil with new oil. We're going to replace the oil filter. You know, check the levels. Like I said, it's usually between 2.4, 2.5, 2.7. It says, I think, 2.7 liters. The drain plug's right here. You're going to loosen the cap up here, the yellow cap, so there's no vacuum. It's 14 millimeter. I'm just going to drain it into a jug here, and I've got some cat litter I'm going to put down here for overspill on the sheet there. And like I said before, check your local state laws on disposal. I dispose of it at a location. I have a friend who takes care of that for me, and so let me get this drained, and I'll show you how to do the oil filter here. And just in case, there's the yellow cap. You're just going to loosen it so it doesn't get a vacuum. You will get some oil. When you do this, you are going to spill a little bit. It's going to get down onto here, and that's what the paper towel's for. You know, nothing's perfect, so let me do this real quick and we'll go from there. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is I just drained the oil. I got it in the jug. Actually didn't spill hardly anything, maybe a couple drops. Put the plug back in, the bolt back in, the 14 millimeter bolt back in the oil drain fill down there. Hand tighten it, human torque, like I told you. And now we're just going to, what we're going to do is I'll put some paper towels down there because the filter is going to have some oil in it. Now I'm sure they sell a wrench for this. I actually haven't been able to find one, so again I just used the old whatever wrench here, and I just basically tighten it down because it's only been hand tightened in there, and you can see how easy it turns. And so just get that out. And again, check on your local state laws on the disposal of this stuff. So we'll pull that out. There's hardly any oil in there because it's tilted up all day. So just take the old filter, set it down here in the cat litter for now. Now the other filter, I have already did what I did with the marine fuel separator, coated it with some oil there. Basically just get in here and wipe that down the outside. Wipe that down, get the excess oil off. I mean, it is an oil filter, so it is going to have oil in there. And basically I just, again, hand tighten that down. There's really no need to, like I said, I've never had one leak. So, and there's the oil filter. Now what we're going to do is we're going to fill it with the appropriate oil. And inside the top of the cowling up here, it's sitting up on my pulling platform, is where it says contact your owner's manual. I usually put about 2.5 in here. So let me do that, and we'll go from there. Okay, we've got the oil in there. I checked the levels, and again I'll check the levels after I start the engine, run it, put the headphones on it and all that good stuff. So last but not least, and I do this probably twice a year, and when I do the impeller, the water pump is the lower unit fluid. I hate doing that. Probably everybody that does it hates doing it because you definitely get your hands and you get dirty for sure. So two things. First thing we're going to do is there's a screw right down here that is magnetized. We're going to do that. And then there's the air vent screw, and this is very easy to do. Basically what you do is it's going to take there's the screws, the replacement screws I got. I replace them about every year or so. A few dollars. There's the magnetized one, you can see it. There's the regular one, a couple gaskets right there. There's the lower unit fluid. Okay, so basically what we'll do here is I'm going to loosen that screw just a little bit to let the vacuum get out of there, the air. And then this bottom screw right here, we're going to take completely out. We're going to drain it into a a container. Once it's drained, what you do is I acquired a pump a while ago that basically, got it in this bag on my other one here. Basically, it just goes onto the top of the container, and you screw this in to the bottom hole on your lower unit, and you pump it until, and you can tell it's full when it comes out of the top right here. It's very easy to do. You might make a mess. That's why you put the cat litter down there. Okay, we got everything done. Changed the oil filter, the lower unit gear oil, the gaskets, the anodes down here, the water fuel separator, the spark plugs. I also went through and tightened up any, loose nuts, whatever, on the boat. Checked some wiring on the trailer. I did the jack plate, just took some of that marine grease and put it on the jack plate. I greased all the fittings. And pretty much, other than doing the impeller, that's almost a year, 100-hour service right there. And like I said, the next video I do, I'll do the impeller. And here's the key. I just put all the water on. I have not started it yet, so let's see if I did the magic right. Pretty much every time I've done this, what it does. So I'll let it run for a few minutes, and then I'll check the oil level. I checked it earlier. We just want to check it after it runs, make sure the gears work and all that good stuff. And there you go. Again, it's a 2007 Yamaha 4-stroke F50 TLR. I'm pretty sure this maintenance will work for a 40 horse, 50 horse, and 60 horse. Just check your specifications and go from there. Again, this is Captain Cavanaugh.